Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the TGIF Business Networking Hangout. I'm your host, Meilani MacDonald. I'm a brand identity and outreach strategy consultant, and today we have a great show. I have a special guest, Linda Fritz from Sun Sugar Farms, and we're going to be talking about taking an idea from idea to market, taking a product, rather, from idea to market. Before we get into that, let's have our guests introduce themselves. First up, we have Blair Warner.
I'm always first. Hi, Blair Warner. I am the founder and senior credit consultant of upgrademycredit.com, and we help both businesses and individuals with credit and debt and lending problems, mostly credit and debt problems, but we have some lending options too for businesses. So I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Blair.
You're welcome.
So good to see you again. Next up, we have Andy with Desert Vibe Web. Andy, please give us an introduction.
Good morning, Meilani. My name is Andy Stanek with Desert Vibe Web Media, a local Coachella Valley web development company offering business web services.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Remember to turn on your lower third today so people will know who you are. Next up, we have Gene Shaw. Hi, Gene. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, everybody. Gene Shaw, Heirloom Productions Video Services in Palm Desert, offering a full range of video services for consumers and small businesses.
Well, gosh, you are going to love our show today, Gene, because when you go to the CRESBICrates.com website to check out Sun Sugar Farms, and Linda, you are going to see the masterful use of video that she has all over her website. And now we get to our special guest, Linda Fritz, who is a farmer and inventor and product marketer and, gosh, Superwoman, does it all herself.
Crazy.
So, Linda, please give yourself an introduction and tell us a little bit more about you and your businesses.
Thank you so much, Meilani. I actually started out life as an engineer. And then when I left the corporate world, I started a video production company so that I could stay home with my daughter. So for 18 years, I did that. And then the daughter went away, and at the same time, I'd started growing edamame because I loved it, and I wanted kids here in Kentucky to eat healthier. And through the process of growing the edamame, I discovered that I didn't like all the waste, where I'd have to get cardboard boxes to deliver it in, and they get soggy in the refrigerator. So I ended up stalking the produce guys at the grocery, seeing what they were using, and I ordered a couple bins, you know, the heavy-duty produce bins. And I got some small ones, and I thought, man, if these were just a little lighter and there was a way to carry more than one, even Grandma could use them. And instead of using bags, which I've always thought were a waste, paper or plastic, and especially reusable, then this could be an alternative. And I just took it from there. So that was like 2 years ago.
Wow, so that's really awesome. Basically, you were just in the store and thought, I really wish they had these, and then you decided to make these. So that's going to be an interesting story for us to hear. Tell us a little bit, when you first had the idea, how did you get started? What made you think, I want to produce these and take them to market? And then what was your first step in that process?
Well, when I realized that this could be a viable alternative, because I took the little produce bins and I started shopping with them myself. I got a couple of them. I loved how they would stack and keep things neat in the cart. And so I thought, okay, I need somebody to help me make this. And through my video contacts, I knew some, because I mostly did, I don't know, I know, let's see, Gene, you do video productions. I focus on business to business. Because I never wanted to do weddings or anything like that. And so I had a lot of business contacts, and I was like, hey, who can I talk to about plastic? You know, I need some injection, I need something made like this, only lighter. And I pretty much got rejected. You know, one guy didn't get back to me. Another guy said, well, do you have $200,000? I'm like, no. Are you Kroger? No. Are you interested in renting? No. You know, he's like, I can't help you. And I'm like, yeah, but this is something every family in America could use. Didn't matter. So in the meantime, I was trying to figure out how can I get more than one crate in, and I came up with the idea of a strap to use to carry a couple crates in. You know, and then in the process of being rejected, I thought, okay, fine. I still think this is a great idea. And I went to Alibaba.com and just looked online. I knew what sizes I thought would be great and how they would stack, and they happened to have something very similar to the size I was looking for. And these had been out on the market in Japan, in China, for like a year. So they were very new 2 years ago. But they came with and I managed to get a couple samples because there weren't any in the US at the time, maybe one guy on eBay. But you can see they had these really crappy handles that would never, you know, even though they look like the store's basket, that would never work. So that's when I started experimenting with, you know, a strap, and I basically ended up with this, where the strap, you know, hooks onto the side of the crate, and that in turn makes it really easy to open it, you know, because you just like, oh, well, you know, you have one. So, but that was the first part of the process, was just, you know, trying to find a supplier, and then, so the straps are American made, right? And I went through a couple strap manufacturers, 3 or 4 actually, trying to find one that would be able to make the webbing that I was looking for. So that was basically the process.
Wow. How long did that process take to get to just to that point where you found a manufacturer for the straps and the crates?
That took about 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months.
Okay. You know, I mean, I was still doing the video production stuff and the website stuff. And the thing about it, along the way, like when I found the manufacturer, and then they sent me samples of things. Like I wanted to, and this is what can go wrong with, you know, working with somebody so far away, or even here. Like I wanted to have, once I started talking to people, people are like, oh, do you have one that'll hold, that's like a cooler? And I'm like, no. Okay, well, you should make one of those. Okay. And so I wanted to have a cooler that would hold 5 of them collapsed, and then the 5th one you could open up inside, so it'd make it a hard-sided cooler. Well, the Chinese company sent me a sample of their cooler, their initial cooler, and it was made out of non-woven polypropylene. And this is how I found out about reusable bags, how bad they are, because most bags are made from non-woven polypropylene. And I used their sample, and I was like, oh, it works great. Go ahead and buy the material, start making it. And it ripped. And then I was like, what is this stuff? I couldn't sew it. You know, it was just falling apart. Because I was always using paper bags. I wouldn't use plastic. I wouldn't use reusables. And so it was like, too late. They already bought all the material. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't, you know, I couldn't use it for this purpose. It wasn't strong enough. So I had a company in Wisconsin make me a few of these out of, you know, nice, good canvas material. And what I did is I said, okay, well, this is still a good insulator. And so we made it an insert. So it goes inside the crate. And so that way you still got the great insulating properties, you know, but it's protected. But that was a giant fiasco. As you can imagine, there goes all the money. And then the other thing that happened that turned out to be okay was with the strap guys. I don't know what kind of drugs they were smoking, but when they started making all the different color straps, they were supposed to look like this, like really, you know, pretty and, you know, smooth, and they came out like this. I'm like, what the heck? And so they gave me a really big discount on this, and I was like, what am I going to use it for? Well, my friends were having a hard time figuring out how to wrap the strap around the crate, so I made it into a bag that'll hold 2.
Oh, awesome.
So now my girlfriends who, you know, didn't want to just do the strap wrapped around on the crate, they now had a bag to use. And by combining it with a thermal insert, they added more value. So people are like, oh, that's great. You know, you get a bag, and you get a couple crates, and you get the thermal insert. And so.
Well, you know, I noticed on your website that with the order of the 2 crates and the carry thing, you were giving an insulation free for a while. So I guess that's That's why, because
Yeah, because I got like a zillion of those. Yeah, because when you order from China, you have to get like to make a color. You know, to make this color pink, I need to get 1,000 of them. So.
Well, you know, I think that's really brilliant marketing, though, because now you're basically doing with products what people always do with content, repurposing your content. You're repurposing your products,
right,
and using it as a freebie giveaway to attract your customers. Because I remember when I was looking, and I was like, ooh, a free, you know, heat-sensitive thing or cold thing. That's awesome. Those must be really expensive.
I know. Then you got it. It's like it's kind of thin, but it really does have good insulating properties. I mean, I've bought chicken, left it in the car, and had some, you know, frozen vegetables with it for like 4 hours, and that little thing will still keep it cold. You know, so it does a good job. It's just not super heavy duty that you can put heavy things in it. And that's why a lot of people are so disappointed with reusable bags, because they rip and they can't hold anything, you know, unless you spend some money.
You're right about the little reusable bags. I have a whole bunch of them, but all the ones that were made out of that cheap stuff did rip. I have a lot that are not good canvas bags, though, and those are still great. But, yeah, the other ones ripped in. Yeah,
and that's why this is a heavy-duty cloth. This is a cotton. The other ones that we have that hold 3 and 4, you know, that's a heavy-duty canvas, because it's probably not the best business model, but when you buy something from me from Sun Sugar Farms, it'll last a really long time unless you like run over it with a tractor, which true story has happened. But it can be recycled, and I actually give a 10-cent credit to everybody who wants to unload all those promotional reusable bags that they've gotten, and we weave them into pet rugs, or we'll take a strip and tie it around the crate so that the crate will stay shut as a little ribbon.
And so you sell those pet rugs on your site as well, and that's at
don't get a lot of orders, but you know, it's something that we do to keep them out of landfills. Because I've done farmers markets where I've got my edamame and my crates, and a lady will say, I just threw away like 5 reusable bags yesterday. I'm like, ugh. You know, because that was the whole reason I started this, is to eliminate, cut down waste. And then the other thing I was going to mention, once I started doing getting the crates all together and creating the website, I wanted to be more of a full-service reusable item place, and I actually partnered with some other companies. You know, this company here, they make produce bags, and so they're on my website, and this actually got me like $1,600 worth of business from a customer in California. She was looking for the produce bags to buy, you know, not at a store, but to buy more of a quantity of them. She was going to give them as gifts. And then she ended up ordering the crates with the tie-dye bag and the lime green for every relative she had.
Oh, awesome.
But that was, it was because of partnering with somebody else, you know, having their product on my website.
That's great.
Then you don't need any more bags for, you know, those little flimsy produce bags. You have your own that can be washed.
Those are great. I actually have a couple of those. Those are awesome.
I saw that in your picture there.
Oh yeah, you saw it in the crate, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the other thing too, that this like you had first started using yours like this, when these straps, this is another part of the patent pending provisional patent that I'm going for, is that this is a custom hook that I designed to utilize the holes that were already existing in this particular crate, and then, you know, that way you can carry it over your shoulder, and it's out of the way for your produce, you know, to put bigger things in, but it's easy to detach anyway.
Yeah. And in case anybody's wondering what she's talking about, there's a couple of pictures on the event page. Linda graciously sent me one of her crates and straps and the carry bag, and I actually love them, especially for my produce. I love my organic leafy green veggies and produce, and the greens often got their leaves squished when I put them in my bags, so I tried the crate out, and I Everything stands up just fine. It doesn't squish any leaves. I could take it home, and when I brought it home, I stuck the crate right in my sink, and I could wash my veggies off right in the crate like that. It was actually very convenient, and I let them dry, and then I put them in the fridge. So there you go. Props to the CRESBI Crates. You get a little testimony from me.
Well, that's what we use for picking the edamame. We'll use the crates, and then we don't usually rinse it because that takes away the fuzziness. But for like the cherry tomatoes, we rinse it right in the crate, and then let them go and dry. And the thing is, not only can you save your vegetables, but you can carry so much more. Like you can put eggs with jars, with glass bottles, boxes. So it's just, a box is better than a bag. Come on, people, admit it.
And it doesn't roll around in the car, and your stuff doesn't fall out.
You can seatbelt it in.
Okay, if anybody out there is viewing, I just want to remind you that if you're viewing in presentation mode and you want to get back to the event page and leave a comment on the event page, you can click the little X at the top right of the presentation mode. It'll close the big video screen, go back to the event page and watch it there. You can leave a comment there. If you have any questions, please submit them in the comments, or you can use the Q&A app and your questions there. I will check those at about 9:30. And at this time I will ask, does anybody in our peanut gallery down there have any questions for Linda? Raise your hand and give me a clue. No? Okay, then well, Linda, I want to...
I got a question.
Okay, wait. First.
Well, first of all, are you going to work out any kind of like affiliate sales marketing thing where people can sell it for you on their websites or whatever?
Yes. Actually, I do have an affiliate setup program, so if there are people that want to put it on their website, which I have had people do that, I also have a rep kit where you can order a CRESBI on wheels with all the different samples in that wheel crate, and that's like $180 worth of stuff that you get for $99.95. So I actually have a rep in California who is doing really well, and she's ordering some custom straps. And this was what I was going to say too, is I've never been in retail, so it was like, what do I do? I mean, I'm trying at Kroger, and actually I may get in with the crates at Kroger because of the edamame, because the produce guys were like, this is great. But I ended up I have more sales by branding the strap. And like my rep out in California, she is in San Luis Obispo, and it's got a beautiful panoramic view. And so we're putting on her strap, the view of San Luis Obispo that a photographer had taken, and he's going to get a crate, out of it, that then she'll use to market, the crates that way too.
Awesome.
So yes, we have reps and we have affiliates.
Well, cool.
And Jean, I saw you had a question too. Unmute yourself. Jean, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, I was in the wrong window. I was actually looking at her web page.
Oh.
Actually, what I have is just a comment. I mean, talk about the epitome of when life hands you lemons lemonade. You really truly are an example of that.
Yeah. Shoot me.
And Andy, did you have a question as well?
Yeah, I was just wondering, you've mentioned a couple times regarding your affiliation with Chinese companies for your products. What about American-made products and working with, companies to get what you need in order to make your products in the United States? Yes.
Well, that was the first attempt. That's who I did contact, and they're the ones that told me, did I have $200,000 for a mold? Was I Kroger? I just wasn't big enough for them. And this design actually already existed, where I didn't have to totally invent the wheel. But the straps are made in either Rhode Island. The webbing is made in either Rhode Island or Oregon, and then we sew the hooks and the bags here in Kentucky. So I did what I could. And actually, let me tell you how competitive it is. There's been another company that came out with a collapsible crate, and it's very similar, but right back, but because I bought one. And theirs has the cheap handles. This guy's been on QVC. He's in Home Depot. He was in Costco, and all he is just a distributor of these. And this, their design is inferior in so many ways because, like, you can see the handles are rounded. So now you can't put something square in the box if you have your handles down, like a big box of cereal or whatever. If these come off, you can't stack them anymore because of that, because where the notches go. It's two different plastics, so it really picks up pet hair really bad. And the bigger one of these is just totally flimsy. So he was selling these on QVC and on his website. Basically, you could get 4 of them for $12. You know what I mean? So I'm like, mine is $15, for the crate, the strap, and the thermal insert. And so that's kind of what I'm up against. I don't know how long he'll last, you know what I mean? Because he is more of a retailer, distributor person. That didn't work, move on to the next thing.
Right.
My goal is hopefully to, at some point, get big enough that an American company, an American plastics manufacturer would say, I think I can help you, and we can make the whole thing here. People are already used to paying a good price because the strap literally is half the cost.
Wow.
This costs as much as the crate and the insert. I couldn't compete at this point and I've been doing this for it'll be 2 years in November. And the first year was kind of the proof of concept to see if anybody even liked it, But and this guy just showed up like in April, and that was another lemon. I'm like, oh, great, and I mean, my market's more niche, where I can customize this, and in fact, thank God, because like a city in Washington, they had a bag ban, and they ended up getting their name on the strap, and they bought 1,000 of them from me, so. That's how I'm competing now. But yeah, I hope to someday have it all made in America. I really would.
Awesome. Let me ask you, from what you've told us about already so far, taking it from your idea to getting those produced, how much did you have to invest? How much did it cost to get your first batch to market?
Yeah, the video production business helped pay for that because I'm a saver, The initial cost of a 40-foot container full of all of the different products, because I got 7,500 crates. I got 1,500 of the bigger size, and then 5,000, because I didn't know what color would do well. So I thought I'll get 5,000 of this size, plus the thermal inserts, because it was more cost effective to get a 40-foot container and pay, and that was like $30,000. And the shipping was like $7,000. Then it was to get a 20-foot container, which was about half the price. That was within $1,000, the same amount for shipping, and shipping was like $6,500. So that was my initial investment. Oh, and that includes the straps too, the cost of the straps. So my initial investment was around 40 grand, and I thought, I'll get this. I'll see it. I'll see if people like it. I like it. I'll use it for my farm. At the worst, I'll go to Big Lots or churches, and I'll donate them. If nobody likes them but me, But people did. And if I find the right people, they sell like hotcakes. So.
At what time did you start doing the farming?
I started growing edamame about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
And just started building up. Like, there's a produce delivery company and they were like, edamame, yes, you know, and so I've been delivering to them and to a couple little markets. But this was the first year I delivered to Kroger, and that again was a cold call, you know, like, hey, I hear you guys don't have fresh edamame. You know? So okay. I do whatever it takes to try to get something to stick on the wall.
How did you manage to do all of this yourself? Run a video business, video creation and marketing business, and get your products started and work on all that, and run a farm and get your straps produced? How do you manage to do all of that? How much are you outsourcing? How much are you doing yourself?
I have a lot of part-time people that I rely on to help me, like with the website design and the video production. I've always used college students or even high school students who were interested in the business, because I never had enough business to hire somebody full-time. I really didn't want that because I was a stay-at-home mom. You know, I wanted to be flexible anyway. And so I always had enough business to keep me busy. And so I would hire, you know, college students, high school students to help me with the video production. And now at this point, since I'm so busy, and I used to write the website code myself, you know, back when HTML roamed the land, or back when front page, you know. And so now, because a lot of people like CMS, they like their own content management system, I'll design the site, customer will approve, and then I'll put my guys to work. And they get great experience, and I get it done. You know, a normal programmer sitting at a desk in a nice building might be charging between, you know, $45 and $75 an hour, where these kids, you know, once I see they know something, you know, I'll start them at 15, they may end up at 25, you know, by the time they graduate, but they have this great portfolio of what they've done. And in fact, you know, one kid's gone on to Microsoft, you know, making 90 grand a year, which is way more than I make, you know.
Wow. And you know, that's actually a really smart move, because it gives you the lower cost workers, but for those kids who are starting out, it gives them a great portfolio piece that they can use to get those jobs at places like Microsoft.
Right, and they're usually more flexible, you know, in terms of working in the day, you know, when they can get out of class or whatever, or they're done with class. So, yeah, in fact, another kid went on to, a video kid has a great job with one of the local companies downtown, and another one just had an interview yesterday. I'm like, you can't leave me. I don't have anybody in the pipeline. You know?
Well, let me ask you this. Actually, Blair is asking, do you have a different website for your video production site services?
Yeah.
What's the website for that?
The video name is Kodiak Video Productions, but you can get to it by kvp.net. So there you go. That shows you how much of a dinosaur I am. I actually got a 3-letter domain name. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I still use AOL.
Oh, wow. I haven't run into someone who uses AOL in a while.
I know, we're fossils.
I haven't run in,
dark here.
I haven't run into anyone that admits to having AOL, but.
Oh my gosh! I know my husband's always like, I can't believe you still have AOL. I'm like, I still get video because I do voice work too, and I'll get an email. I just got like a year ago, somebody emailed me at Fritzland at AOL, and they're like, hey, we need, you know, our church guy is busy. Can you do a video for us? And it was like ended up being a $2,000 job. So yeah, thank you. I'll keep my AOL.
You do have a great voice for your videos. It's really, you sound like the guy on all the commercials, knows where the inflections go. Do you find that makes a big, huge difference in your sales versus someone who is maybe less proficient with the voice work being in a video?
I think so. And like the video that you see when you first come on there, most of those were not actual people who were actors. They were people I thought I could coach to do the acting, and they were great. They were only like the college students at the end were drama students. But I think having, well, you guys know, you're in the media business, you know. If you have something that's professional, it's always going to look a little better than something that isn't professional.
Right.
And if you have something that truly reflects you versus being too professional, that's even better, you know, if it's a true reflection of you. But then on the other hand, I mean, I know that if you have anything, that's better than nothing, you know, because there are people that just go out with their iPad and just record themselves. And actually the Shoreline Washington business, the reason they decided to buy 1,000 from me and not go the reusable bag route is because they Googled something about, you know, reusable bags being bad. And all that was, if you go to my video page, there's me ranting about reusable bags, and I think my daughter videotaped it with the iPad. You know, like, these are worthless, you know. And that was not professionally done, but that was one of the key decisions that helped them with their decisions. And you know, there's the closest city we have to having a bag ban here in the Midwest or the Midwaste is Chicago. And my plan for that is to create an infomercial that'll somehow buy some cheap time, you know, and just air it on the Chicago channels before next August, and you know, just try to create this professional infomercial, you know, about the crates and how they can, you know, replace or be an alternative, you know. So that's. I'm open to any other strategies y'all might have, because it sounds like you guys got a wealth of knowledge and experience, so hang it out if you have any ideas, believe me.
Awesome. Well, I am going to take our questions from the Q&A app. I've got a couple of in there. Let's see. We have, okay, we have Brian Rowley. And he says, do you sell or can you find a supplier of biodegradable dog poop picker-upper bags?
Yes.
Because he'll need a replacement for the produce plastic bags he uses today when he buys your CRESBI. Oh my God, you actually do. That's so funny.
Yes. You can get a sample of these on my website for like a penny or something. So if you order something and you want to try one, I'll go ahead and I'll open my bag. Because these guys were nice enough to send me some samples, and I'm like, I'll just put, because they're like, well, we don't really have, you know, we'd rather people go to our website and buy, and I'm like, that's okay, I'll just put you on my website and link it to there. So, but if you want to try a sample, you can go to my website. I will sell it to you for a penny. They're very silky. I don't know how important that is. We live in the country. Our dogs go outside.
That's so funny. Well, thank you, Brian, for that question that I kind of was laughing and poo-pooing at. See what I did there? And there it is, the actual product.
That's right. And usually if something says it's biodegradable, I throw it in my compost pile and see how long it really lasts, because a lot of stuff isn't really biodegradable.
Well, speaking of biodegradable, you have some other products on your site that are takeout containers.
Yes.
What's the story with those?
Well, with those, these, this was, oh, and here's the produce bags. This was another thing that drove me crazy, was styrofoam, because you virtually no place will replace it. There's just no money in it. These are Eco Takeout To Go boxes. They're very sturdy. A lot of colleges, universities, hospitals, places like Google, Yahoo, Campbell Soup, their employees get one of these, or their students get one when they first get into the program. You get your food, you pay, you go back to your desk, you eat it, you rinse it out. The next time you go to the cafeteria, you take it back, you throw it in their bin to wash, and you get a clean one. So it's just a simple exchange program, and then the cafeteria is able to sterilize these so they can be used again and again. I was so impressed with these that, you know, I'm like one of their few single distributors that don't do anything else, you know, because mostly you can go to web restaurant stores and buy dozens of these, but I'll sell them as singles just because I want to get as many out as possible. And I'm also like, just this morning I had a business suit on and I was up at a chamber meeting trying to get Children's Hospital to consider these instead of the wasteful styrofoam, polystyrene that you can't clean. You can't really reuse those things very much, and you can't wash them in the dishwasher. You know, they'll just totally fall apart. So it's like such a shame that we have a finite amount of fossil fuels that can be made into good things or stupid things, and we use so many stupid things that we use them for 10 minutes and then we throw them away. When it's like, let's get one really sturdy thing and use it again and again. It's not going to take that much water to clean it. You know, it's going to take your brain to remember to take it. And the students, if they forget them, they just charge them another $5. They remember after a while.
Right. Well, that's the same.
There's a video.
That's
There's
how
a video because Xavier University saves like $10,000 a year using these.
Oh, wow. What university was that?
It's Xavier. If you go to my website and go to the shop reusables, the eco takeouts are the first thing, and I put together the video. It was like being in another world. I was like, am I in California or something? Because all these students were walking behind him with their eco takeouts, you know. And then all of us, the rest of us here in the Midwest, are like, give me more styrofoam.
That's great. I love it because I'm a California girl. I love that you say, oh, I feel like I was in California or something.
You guys are so much farther ahead of us.
Yeah. So, look at you, by the way. I just want to give a shout out to your marketing prowess. You just said that you were in a business suit this morning for your meeting with the people that expect you to be in a business suit. Yet here on the Hangout, and this is your very first Hangout, so yay me for having you for the first one. And behind you, I see your CRESBI Crates poster. I see your CRESBI Crates stacked up. You've got your CRESBI shirt on. Yeah. You have all your products right there that you've been showing us. So you are like marketing genius #1. Yay.
We try here. I really appreciate you having me on the show. You have a really great thing going on here, and I hope it just explodes for you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. If I keep getting great guests like you, I can't see how it would not do that.
Exactly.
I want to talk a little bit about, if I looked on your website, and you have won contests, those kind of inventor show contests. Mm-hmm. Which are really cool. So tell us a little bit about those shows. How did you hear about them? What made you decide to enter them? What was the process like once you were a contestant? And what was the payoff?
Well, I was looking for free publicity, and so and I knew I had to join the chamber. I don't know if you guys are already members of your chambers. You know, if you want to grow your business, you almost have to if you want to grow it locally. And the chamber always has all sorts of contests like that, you know, just for women, for minorities, for old people, for, you know, it's like there's always some sort of contest going on. And usually it just involves filling something out. And then, you know, so that's useful. But then there's also inventor shows and things like that that people would tell me about, or, you know, I would find myself and then just apply, and so it's usually great publicity, even if you don't win, you know, because they're keeping archives of all the shows. So that's a really good thing. If you have a new product or service and you want to get the word out there, I would highly recommend doing that. Just entering as many contests as possible when you first start. And
one of those contests was the 90-second pitch. So that really is a testament to how important it is to really get your 30-second, 60-second, 90-second commercials.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's right. I always keep them in my calendar, what they are, so I can look them over beforehand. But yeah, it's really important to have that down, you know, in case you get a chance to stand in front of somebody for that short of a time. Yeah, and that one, the tricky thing there was, there were 10 of us finalists. We had 90 seconds, and they had told me I could have my crate, my prop, my thing. And so the whole week I practiced with it, and then like an hour before we were supposed to go on during the lunch, and they were like, oh, no, that wouldn't be fair to the other contestants. Oh. So I just kind of winged it based on what I had without, you know, throwing in something really quickly, and I'm like, I didn't get it. So because they were going to narrow it down from the first 10 to the final 5, and so I'm like, oh, I didn't get it. So I'm eating my lunch, you know, I'm like, thank God I can eat now. And they're like, and the 5th person is Linda Fritz. I'm like, crap, you know, because then I had to make it a 60-second based on their feedback. And again, I'm winging it, because I couldn't use my crate. But that was a really good experience. There were people from Coca-Cola, British BP, a big ad agency in Cincinnati. There were people from Shell. There were a lot of people at this National Urban League conference, small business administration pitch. So you didn't have to be a minority. You could be just a small business. And there was a guy there that had a video production business, and he was saying that his product was this drone that he would use to take pictures, to take aerials with. And he actually had won in his category. I'm like, he did not invent the drone, but he had a good enough pitch that, they were like, oh yeah. So.
Well, I'm going to take this moment to turn that into a plug for TGIF, because we are newbie friendly. I invite you to come into the TGIF Business Networking Hangout on the first and third Fridays from 9 to 10 a.m. and perfect your 30-second commercial. I give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, and I want you to learn to be comfortable on camera, and it's very helpful watching it back afterwards when you can watch yourself giving your pitch on camera and have it recorded. So come on in and practice. Join us anytime. With that, I'm going to go to our peanut gallery down there. We have Jean Shaw, who's got a question for you. Go ahead, Jean, about her background.
Yeah, I'm very curious about what your background is. You obviously are into so many things and have so many things that you have learned how to do. I'm just curious what your background is.
I put myself through college studying electrical engineering.
Ah.
And then I worked 10 years in the automotive industry up in Detroit. And then I wanted to learn how video was made. So while I had like a really cool high-power sales engineering job, I went to broadcast school at night and learned how videos were made, and thought I would just quit my job temporarily to edit this kids' TV show together that I'd been producing on the sidelines, and produced a daughter at the same time, and so that kind of changed my life path. So, but it's all good. But that's my background.
Awesome.
Oh, wow, interesting. Thanks.
And Andy, you had a question about getting on some shopping channels.
Yeah, you mentioned some other people having their products displayed, your main competitor that had the cheaper knockoff, as you put it. And I was wondering, have you been on the Home Shopping Network? That seems like a viable option for your product.
Yeah, I actually, my mentor here in Cincinnati is Donna Sawyers of Fabulous Furs. And so she's been on all those shows, and she gave me the name of a rep, because if you have a rep, then you don't have to actually go stand in line and pitch your product in Pennsylvania or Florida or whatever. And the rep, she really liked the product, but then she said, well, they're not Home Shopping Network wasn't interested. But then when I saw the guys, the competitor on I'm sorry, it was QVC that he was on. She's like, oh, well, here's the other rep that reps QVC. So then, I went through her, and at the same time, there was on the web, there was something called QVC Sprouts. And so I entered that, and actually QVC Sprouts emailed me saying, we're interested in your product. I'm thinking, I'm going to go with them as opposed to the rep, because I'm going to lose 10%, to the rep, on top of the 45% that QVC or Home Shopping Network wants. And so that's the other problem with the shopping networks, that they take so much of a percent. It's really high. I mean, it's 45%, compared to, most retail can be, well, ideally 50 or 60, but you can see how little is left, So that's why I love the internet. Because anybody can find you, and I love Twitter and Facebook, because then your product's there, and you've got pretty much, as long as you've optimized it, as you guys know with the web development, you've got a shot. So, well, yeah, I've tried, but and that's in the works. But again, I'm almost like, well, maybe it's good I didn't get it,
Well, that's another one of the wonderful things about these Hangouts is, especially with the Showcase app, you can make your own shopping channel and shop
Right.
at show.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, if you have more time in your day to do yet another endeavor,
Yeah.
uh,
Shopping tour.
start producing these shopping shows using your Hangouts, and with the Showcase app you can put links right to the product sites where they can go and order it right from watching the show and doing your demonstrations.
Right. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Technology is awesome. We are already at 9:45, so let me ask you, Linda, what is in the future for CRESBI Crates? Where do you go from here? You've now had the idea, you've got your product created, you've got in a couple of markets, you said Kroger's using them, and you've got a couple of reps that are basically focusing on the straps, but along with the straps, the CRESBI crate sales are coming with it. So
Right.
what comes next? How do you try to get into other markets? What kinds of markets are you looking to get into?
Well, with Kroger, it was the edamame and the sun sugar, that cherry tomatoes that I got in with, but the produce guys saw that people were interested in the crates, and that's what I was hoping for, because the produce stuff is really a break-even endeavor. It's really just a passion. But so Lord willing, that will be an avenue that I can use to get into something like a Kroger. Just, hey, people want this. And then the other thing is I have different colors coming. Like I have orange, which will go, really great with a Bengals-like looking strap. I don't know if you guys are football fans out there. And then another color that I have that nobody else has, including my competitor, is clear, because this next, again, I was trying to fill the 40G container. I already had so much that I knew I needed, because I was low on stock, so I knew I needed to get more blue and more pink, more lime, so I thought, let's try clear, because there are some grocery stores, like on the East Coast, that they allow people to use their own handheld scanner to scan items, and then they'll do audits on people where they have to open up all their bags, because after you scan everything and you put it in your cart, then you just show them the scanner and you pay the final price.
Oh.
So you don't have to ring everything through. You've already scanned it yourself in the cart. So with the crates, it'd be so much easier. They're all stacked there. You can see, especially if they're clear, you can see what they've bought. So that's going to be my next way to market to the grocery stores, is to get them to promote it for me. And the other thing was, again, like with the Chicago market coming with a bag ban, trying to find some bigger companies that could just purchase them for their employees, just like Shoreline Washington bought them for their people. The Bank of Kentucky here bought 350 for their best customers. This Usborne Books, they bought 500 for their sales reps as incentives. So I'm just continuing to follow that path, because that way I'm not competing against the QVC guy, with his super cheap crates. I've got something of more value. I hope. I hope that works.
Well, California, we are looking at a potential statewide ban on the plastic bags.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling positive and confident and hopeful that that's going to go through. I don't know this for sure, but I think it might. A lot of cities in California have banned it, so that's going to be probably a very good market for you. So California Peeps, looking for a product to distribute. She's got distributorships available, and this is a prime market when those bags get banned to start distributing those products.
That's right.
Can I ask a quick question about that?
Sure.
My understanding was that it already passed the legislature, and it was just a question of whether the governor was going to sign or not.
Right.
No, that may be. I haven't looked at the news in the past couple of days, so I think yes. I was reading about it last week, but
I hope so, because I wrote a post about that a few weeks ago.
Well,
I hope I got it right.
Euro, I will go read your post for information for the latest update then.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, that's good. That's seriously, California had emissions restrictions 10 years before the rest of us got them.
Yeah.
California probably, I think they had seatbelts before the rest of us got them. So I know it's coming. I'm just going to be sitting here, not just sitting, but hopefully, get the jump on that. So.
Looking forward to it.
And Hawaii is also an example.
Yeah, in fact, the lady that bought these with the lime green, she was originally from Hawaii, and she paid for me, she she bought it over the internet, and then she gave me shipped to Hawaii, shipped to her brother in New Jersey, so yeah, so we can ship all over the place.
Around. Well, we are at 10 minutes till 10. I am going to let everybody in our peanut gallery now say their final 30-second commercial. Let us know if any events are coming up that they would like to promote. So, Andy, let's start with you. Desert Vibe Web, do you have anything you'd like to promote before we start saying goodbyes?
Well, I'm going to give my little spiel here that reaches out to the locals. Okay.
Which locals?
Coyote, hug a cactus, get a poke. It's hard. It's the times of where we live, so in strides we shine with the desert vibes. Hot, oozing yellow sun, like a color choice for your web presentation. Our technology accurate, like a black widow's web in the webs we weave, attracting viewers for your business intent needs. SEO like a desert hawk, it goes high for your search engine place results. Where you'll find us wallowing in high quality, high integrity web development is how we service your needs. DesertVibeWeb.com.
Awesome. And what desert area are you local to?
Oh, we're in the Coachella Valley. Yeah.
Coachella Valley, California. Awesome. Thank you so much. Euro, hi. Thanks so much for coming in today. You're joining us all the way from France. And since you didn't get
from Europe.
Yeah. Oh, you're not in France today. You're in.
Oh, I am in France, but it's in the European Union.
Yeah. So you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself. Go ahead and do that now and let us know a little bit about what you do. Okay.
Well, my name is Euro, and as you mentioned, I'm in the European Union, and I write some posts on Google Plus from time to time.
Do you have anything that you'd like to promote coming up other than your regular writings?
Peace and Harmony.
Oh, awesome.
I love Peace and Harmony.
Yeah, I do too. That's the best thing you could possibly do.
But I do want to thank you for hosting this show, because I think it's great that you give people an opportunity to talk about their businesses and have some sharing of some important business ideas.
Oh, thank you so much, Euro. I really, really appreciate that, and that's very nice. Thank you.
You're like a multinational BNI.
Yeah, right.
That you don't have to pay dues for.
Yeah, no dues, no dues. You can just come on anytime. Jean, how about yourself? Do you have any promotions you'd like to tell us about?
I do. I just have on our, we have a special report that we've put up on our Business Videos Palm Desert website for manufacturers. So anybody in the manufacturing business who wants to learn a little bit more about how critical video can be to your website to help you build leads, get customers, and increase your ROI, go to businessvideospalmdesert.com and download the free special report.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. That sounds like a really good amount of information available for business owners. Okay, and now we're back to Linda. Do you have any special promotions going on that you want to mention?
Well, with Christmas coming up and all of the holidays, I would like to encourage people to give green this year, something that would last a long, long time in their customers' minds, which could be a CRESBI crate with your own personal strap on it that you could then hand out to them. And believe me, they will always remember you as being very intelligent to give them such a fine gift. And it does take at least 4 weeks to get the straps made. So if you were interested at all, I would highly encourage you to go ahead and do that right away. And we can also screen print the bags and do other screen printing too. And that goes a little faster. But anyway, that would be my promotion. Because I lost a lot of time growing edamame when I should have been promoting Christmas stuff. So there you have it.
Well, For our business customers who might be interested in ordering them and branding them with their logos or their taglines, what is a minimum order required to get a custom created strap or bag branded for the customer?
With the custom straps, it's just you just need to order 20. There's no extra charge.
Really?
So once you get 20, and you decide you want to, order more, then the cost actually goes down because you're buying in quantity. So as long as you're getting 20, and it doesn't have to be just the straps, they can also be keychains and lanyards too. So just like I said, just 20, and on the website it does say what the other variations are for screen printing. Again, it's not that the quantities aren't that great, but as far as the minimum requirement.
And for your Sun Sugar Farms, your produce is just locally within your region, right? You don't ship outside the region.
Yes, I have tried to ship. It's always been very stressful.
Well, that's okay, because we want to promote local produce and local food sourcing anyway. That's better for the environment, and that's great that you.
Now, I can ship you tomatoes. If you ordered some CRESBI Crates and you said, hey, put some tomatoes in there, I'll pick them a little bit green, and by the time they get to you, they will be orange.
Since you're doing the crates anyway, right? So awesome. Well, thank you again so much for joining us, Linda. I am really glad that I connected with you, and I'll let people know that I connected with Linda on Twitter. I was doing some research for, I was working for a client, one of the cities out here, doing a little research on plastic bag bans, and I posted some tweets on Twitter in regards to that research on plastic bag bans, and Linda responded with a tweet. She found it as an opportunity to market her CRESBI Crates. And this is something that I want to point out to you because it is great marketing. When you're doing social media marketing, one of the things that you want to do is look for opportunities to join in conversations that are out there that are already taking place that are relevant for your product or service. And if you can join that conversation and sort of pitch your product in it, it's not so much hard sell marketing, it's what I like to call soft marketing, because you're providing a solution, you're offering a solution. So she was offering a solution to a question that I had put out there. She was joining a conversation, and that's what led to us talking on Twitter and chatting, and me looking at her website and saying, these things are great, I really want to have you on the show, there's so much you can talk about. Yeah. So do that as your homework. If you are new to social media, start looking for conversations and get into them. Again, thank you so much, Linda, for joining us today. Linda Fritz with Sun Sugar Farms and CRESBI Crates. You can find her website at CRESBICrates.com. The next episode, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Meilani. This is really great, really awesome. I appreciate being on.
Oh, awesome. The next episode of the TGIF Business Networking Hangout is going to be on, let's see, that will be October 3rd. My guest is going to be Annie Chalakian with Silver Moon Bay. And Annie's product, she also had a great idea that she took from product to market. And her product is designer hospital gowns. So that patients are going into hospitals, or patients that have to have a lot of treatments like chemotherapy or similar treatments, instead of wearing that hospital gown that leaves you bare in the back and feeling the draft and exposed, you can have now a pretty gown in some designer colors with beautiful embroidery that has an opening right here where they need it for their chemotherapy tubes, and some other really nice things that help patients feel more comfortable and more at home and feel better about what they have to go through with in the hospital than wearing those cold hospital gowns. So I hope you'll join me then. That's Friday, October 3rd, I think I said. Yeah, Friday, October 3rd, 9 a.m. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.